find 35% of 120, I begin by finding 10% of 120. So to find 10%, I do 120 divided by 10. That will give me 12. So 10% of 120 is equal to 12. And then I know that to get from 10% to 35%, I need 3 lots of this 10%, because 35% is equal to 10% plus 10% plus 10% plus 5%. So I need 3 lots of this 10%, so 3 lots of 12, and I need 5%. So to get the 5%, because 5 is half of 10%, I need half of 12. So half of 12 is 6. So to get 35%, I need to do 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 6, which is that 5%. And the answer is, so 35% of 120 is 12, 24, 36 plus 6, 42. Okay, another example. I want to find 55% of 140. I can begin by finding 10%, or what you could do is find what 50% is. 50%, so 55 is 50 plus 5%. 50% is a half. A half of 140 is 70, and then for the 5%, I find 10% of 140. So 140 divided by 10 will give me 14. And then 5%, so 10% of 140 is 14. 5% of 140 is going to be half of 14, which is 7. So half, or 50% of 140 is 70, and 5% is 7. So I'm going to do 70 plus 7. That will give me 77. So 55% of 140 is 70 plus 7, 77. Final example. I want to find 75% of 180. Now 75% means 3/4, and if you didn't know that, what you could do is find 10%. So 10% of 180 is 180 divided by 10 to give me 18. And then I'll do 18 times 7, because 75 is 7 lots of 10 plus 5. And then I need to find 5%. So if 10% of 180 is 18, 5% of 180 is going to be half of that, which is 9. So I'm going to do 18 times 7 to give me the 70 plus 9. So this represents 70%, and this represents 5%. So 18 times 7, 126, 135. So 75% of 180 is equal to 135.